Well, welcome all you boredom busters, and hello to all you new hobby hunters. I am your host, Brad Claybaugh, and you have found Brad's Boredom Busters. This is a channel that explores all sorts of arts and crafts, so if you're looking for something new to do, this is the channel for you. I'm glad you made it to our channel today, because today we are doing a tie-dye shirt. It is going to be a sea turtle pattern on the front of a tie-dye shirt. The sea turtle is going to have a rainbow shell. This is a pattern that I've seen other YouTubers tie up, and I've wanted to give it a try for a while. But like I said, I thought I'd do something different with it and do a rainbow in the middle of the sea turtle shell. So what you'll need for this, like always, 100% cotton t-shirt, pre-washed, soaked in soda ash for 20 minutes, spun out in your washer so it's just slightly damp, and then we can bring it to the table and draw out the pattern and then tie it up. So I've already got my shirt prepped, so let's get over to the table and show you how to draw it out and then tie it up. Okay, Busters, so we're here at my work table, and so for this pattern, we simply want to turn the shirt inside out. Grab the bottom of your shirt at the mark and the collar at the mark, and then fold that in half. And then lay that down with the front of the shirt facing you. All right, before we get any further into this pattern, I want to talk a little bit about the materials we're going to use. Obviously, we're using our washable marker. We're going to tie up the pattern with sinew. So you'll need your sinew for this as well. You'll need also rubber bands because we're going to do some scrunching with the back of the shirt. And then one other thing we're going to do different to this project that we haven't done on any of our previous shirts, because of the sea turtle pattern, there's some areas of it that have details like the fins, the top fin and the bottom fin in particular. I am going to do something different folding those up that I actually haven't tried before, but I've seen other YouTube tie-dyers do it, and it's a good method for highly detailed folds. I know Mr. Tie-Dye says he has a demonstration of a pot leaf that he did this method with, and that method is actually taking thread and then stitching around your pattern line and then pulling the thread tight to help gather that up, and then we'll tie that off with sinew as well. So you're going to need sewing thread. I'm using black just so it's easier to see on the video, and then a sewing needle. So this will just be hand stitched, and basically it's going to be just a basting stitch, which is just a very wide stitch. You'll see that when we get into it here. All right, so at this point we're ready to draw out the sea turtle pattern. And so we want to determine where the head of our turtle is going to be in relationship to the collar. So let's kind of straighten this out so we don't have fabric underneath that's in our way. All right, so this is our collar. I think I'm going to start maybe my hand width. That'll be the top of the head. And then maybe another hand, well, no, not quite the full hand. Maybe 4 fingers width for where the shell will start. And then I want to start up, or I want to finish up from the bottom. Oh, about a hand and a half. That way, where the shell ends, then you have room for the bottom fins to extend down. All right, so it's easiest to draw the shell first. So that's basically just kind of a almost, it's a kind of flat on top and an oval shape, and then maybe with a little bit of a point toward the bottom to simulate the tail of the shell. Just like that. Then our head. Okay, so now the top fin, just kind of determine where you think the shoulder would be of the sea turtle. So that's going to come in here. And then that extends down pretty far. Come across here. And then meet it at the bottom. There we go. Then the bottom fin. And it's all just kind of free-handed. I mean, you can look at reference photos to get a better idea of the shape, but this is reasonable enough. Okay, so at this point, we're done with our washable marker. So with this stitching method, I believe I want to work on the fins first. And so now I will load up my sewing needle with some black thread. And you want a good heavy thread because you're going to be pulling on this to help gather it up. Okay, so let's start on this. I think we'll start on the large fin first. So I'm going to pull this in closer to me. And let's see, I'll zoom in to give you a better view of this. So the thing you got to be careful of is make sure you go through both layers on the, now that you have the front of the shirt folded in half, you want to go through the left and the right side. I'm going to start here at the bottom point. And this is just going to simply be a basting stitch. Okay, and you can take the knot, because at one point, at a certain point, it won't actually collapse all the way back to the beginning, but it helps. You can take your starting knot and pull that. And then, now that you've got this tucked all together, go underneath and kind of push up. And then you can readjust the threads again. Take the two ends and start pulling those. And essentially what you're trying to do is gather these up so the lines on both sides that you've drawn are pretty much straight across from each other. And by using the stitching method, that helps you gather those up together. All right, so then you can cut that off. You can take the two ends of your basting thread there and tie that off. There we go. Okay. And then you clip that. So once you get the thread snugged up where you have your fin kind of pleated and together where your lines are relatively straight on both sides, put a slip knot in your sinew, but gather up the t-shirt fabric and hold that in between your thumb and forefinger so you can get that slip knot around and where it'll stay lined up. If you try to do it when it's flat on your table, the sinew will want to kind of creep up beyond your marks. So this way you can keep it where you want it easier. So tighten up the sinew. And then wrap that around a couple times to start with. About 3 times is good, and then give that a good snug up. And go around a few more times to secure it. There we go. All right, that's good. Okay, clip that off. So now we do the bottom fin in the same method. So I need to put fresh thread back on my needle because this one isn't long enough now. All right, so let's do the same thing with this. We'll start at the bottom of this fin, work our way around. Okay, so we're around that one. So now let's cut the needle off. Okay, and start gathering this fin up. All right, same thing. Gather that up in between your thumb and finger so you can see the definition of the lines for this fin. All right, create another slip knot in your sinew. Okay, so there's your 2 fins. So now we can attack the shell and the head. It'll be a little more challenging to fold up the shell now, but in the long run, it's easier to do the fins first than, because once you fold up the shell, these are all going to be buried in pleats as well. So just find your main lines and just fold as normal, keeping everything straight as you can. I'll back out now so you can see everything that's happening. Okay, there's the shell. Flip that around so I can get sinew on it. I need to just do a little straightening here. Okay, that's the shell. Now let's fold up the head. Okay, so that's the sea turtle folded up, the two fins, the head, and our shell. And now I want to gather up the shell. All right, that's that. And so I was thinking about what I wanted to do to the back of the shirt, because this is just all on the front, and so there's nothing really on the back. Oh, I want to pull both sleeves together so they can be dyed as one, that way they match. There we go. Okay, that's good. That'll take care of the sleeves. That gets that out of the way. So the back of the shirt, I was thinking of just doing some rainbow dots or circles. So essentially what we're going to do, and this can be all freehand as well, and this will be tied up with sinew also. Straighten out the back of the shirt. And so we're going to have purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So I want 6 circles. So I've got this spool of kite string with the plastic spool. And the spool will be a good size for a template. So I'm going to use that. All right, there's our 6 rainbow colors. So let's just fold them up. Then each one will get tied off with sinew. All right, Busters, I hope this is a better angle for you so my hands aren't totally in the way, so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. Okay, there's all our rainbow dots tied up. All right, so now the only other thing to do is really kind of scrunch up the rest of the shirt and get that rubber banded. All right, gang, there's our shirt all tied up. Sleeves are up out of the way. So I've got our rainbow dots tied up. Our sea turtle. All right, so let's get out to the garage and we'll get this dyed up. All right, dude and dudettes, out here at my laundry sink, ready to dye up our sea turtle shirt. So there's going to be many colors on this, so I'm not going to bother running through them now. As I apply them, I'll put them on the screen so you know what colors I'm using. Like always, these are my Dharma dyes. I'm not sponsored by them, I just prefer to use their product. Okay, so let's proceed. We'll start going through this. I'll start with the rainbow shell on the sea turtle. So there's the rainbow shell. Keep that all out of the way. So now I can do the rainbow dots as well. All right, that's all the rainbow dots. All right, so now we can get into doing the fins and the head. Okay, that is it, my friends. So this is going to go in the tub for 24 hours to cure. and then I'll take it out, rinse it out here at the sink, and then we'll wash it out in the laundry with detergent and my dye fixative, and then we'll do a reveal after that. So we'll see you then. All right, all my dude and dudettes, so here is our rainbow sea turtle. Hey, I think it came out far out and bitchin'. Oh, this is so cool looking. Yeah, I had made this thinking that it was going to go into my inventory to sell at this upcoming spring bazaar, but I love this thing so much, I'm keeping it for myself. So I hope you learned something new on this. Hey, if you have any comments about it, this project, please leave that down below. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this. I know I did. Everything came out great. The stitching method to create the fins, that worked out really well. Everything has great definition. Hey, let me show you the back also. Yeah, so there's the back with the rainbow dots. I surrounded the colors with black and then purple and then midnight blue. So the back has got a lot of energy going on. I think it looks really cool as well. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this project. Hey, let's get over to the table and we'll talk about our upcoming project. All right, all my Buster buddies. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that project. Hey, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I really hope you learned something new on this one. Hey, I tell you what, if you really like this project, share it around to your friends. That really helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming projects. And speaking of upcoming projects, we are going to start delving into art quilts. And our next project will still incorporate tie-dye for the background. It's going to also incorporate applique that we had in an earlier video. Yeah, it'll be a fun project. And actually, I'm going to include a bonus project in this video as well. So come back for that. Don't miss our first art quilt project. So don't forget, come back. Remember, peace out, love thy neighbor, and go bust out some art.